Question number 12. Question number 12 says, solve and write the solution in interval notation for 2x squared plus 4x minus 5 less than 0. What we are supposed to do, find the interval notation that says that this expression is negative or less than 0. For different x's, 2x squared plus 4x negative 5 can be positive or negative. The best way to solve it is finding the roots of that quadratic equation which comes from that inequality. So I'm going to write the equation instead of inequality. So I have 2x squared plus 4x negative 5 equals 0. Why I am doing that? Because the algebraic expressions changes in signs around the root. So if you find a root or solution of it, these are the numbers that around that number the sign of that expression changes from positive to negative. So I'm going to find the root of that quadratic equation. Solving it, I don't know you can factor it or not, but because it doesn't look like that has factor, I'm going to find it by using the quadratic formula. Or you may find a factor, I don't know it yet. So quadratic formula needs to be to know A, which is 2 here, and B is 4, and C is negative 5. I'm going to plug them into the formula that you know, which is negative B, positive negative square root of B squared negative 4AC over 2A. So X will be negative B, which is negative 4, positive negative square root of 16. And I'm going to find what negative 4AC is. So because C is negative, so negative 4AC is a positive number. And 4 times A is 8, and 8 times 5 is 40, over 2A, which is 4. I'm going to simplify it. So I have negative 4, positive negative square root of 56 over 4. To make it better, I'm going to one step more to simplify it. So I have negative 4, positive negative 56. 56 doesn't have a square root, but I see that 56 can be factored as maybe 4 times 56 is 4 times 14. So as you see, 4 has a square root. So I am able to take 4 out of the radical. So I have negative 4, positive negative 2, the square root of 14 over 4. And if you see 4, 2, and 4, all are even numbers, so I can divide them by 2. The result is negative 2, positive negative square root of 14 over 2. So the result is 2 numbers. The first one is negative 2, positive square root of 14 over 2. And the second one is negative 2, negative square root of 14 over 2. These are the solution of that quadratic equation here. How does it help me to find the solution for that problem that needs to know interval notation? I'm going to use the next page, and I write down the solution again. So X is and negative 2, positive negative square root of 14 over 2. Just check it that I'm right. Yeah. If you want to find the interval, look at the numbers that x can have it. So x can be changed from the negative infinity to positive infinity. Between the negative and positive infinity, there are two numbers that they are the root of that quadratic equation. The less number is negative 2, negative square root of 14 over 2. And the second one is negative 2 plus square root of 14 over 2. For these two numbers, the sign of 2x squared plus 4x negative 5, the result is 0. So because they are the root of that quadratic equation. Between these two and out of these two roots, the sign is different. How we can find it? Let me write the original problem here, which is 2x squared plus 4x negative 5, which is less than 0. If I plug a negative infinity for x, you see that 2x squared, because it's x squared changes any negative number to positive number. So 2x squared changes any number on that area to the positive. So the sign of the 2x squared plus 4x negative 5 on this side is positive. It changes to 0 here, and after 0 it changes to negative sign, and after the next root it changes to positive sign. So it means that between these two roots, the sign of that expression is negative. So if I wanted to show it as an interval notation, I use that bracket. I'm sorry, because it's not equal 0, so I have to use that sign, which looks like a parenthesis. So start with negative 2 negative square root of 14 over 2 and ends with the negative 2 positive square root of 14 over 2, and this is the form of interval notation. It means that between these two numbers, the sign of that expression is negative, and out of these parentheses or this interval, the sign is positive.
Okay, the question is why we selected this area to be positive, and we figure out what is minus 2 plus a square root of 14 over 2 is approximately, and everybody agreed that it's about 0.87. You can use your calculator. So if I pick a number to the right of this point here on the number line, let's say 1. If I substitute for each x1, okay, Christina, can you tell me what do you get? So that would be 2 plus 4 minus 5. So that would be 6 minus 5, which is equal to 1. And we don't care about the value of this, we care if it's positive or negative. You realize that if I substitute 1 here, then this value of this would be positive, right? And that's what we have here, positive. That's what Ali put here earlier is positive. Do you see that now? So you can just pick a point in this region. If you substitute 1, You see one, and as you see, you don't want that, because you want it to be less than 0. You want this whole expression here to be less than 0, so you want it to be minus. Now, if you pick a point between these two points, then you would see the value would be negative. And if you pick a point to the left of this point and substitute it here, then you see you get positive. Do you follow that, Christina, now? That's how you can see which part is positive or negative. Just pick a point within these regions and substitute that into this area, and from there you can see whether it's positive or negative. And here we want it to be less than 0, so we pick all the points between these two roots. If this were greater than 0, then we would pick all the numbers to the right of this root, and all the numbers to the left of this root would be the solution.